So today we're going to be going on a field trip through a couple of places that are hazardous. The first place is going to be Southern California. This holds a hazard of earthquakes, especially uh, the Inland Empire area. There's the San Andreas Fault that runs through San Bernardino, and as you can see it right here, going through. And then it's also very hazardous because in Los Angeles there's such a high population of people that many would be directly involved in if an big earthquake hit in on the San Andreas Fault. With the close proximity to Los Angeles, it'd be very dangerous, and many people could potentially die. Santa Monica is close to the beach, and as you can see, the buildings there aren't as big. There's not as many big buildings, but there's a lot of people in this area. You can see all the homes in this area. Very nice area. However, if an earthquake did hit there, it could be problems. But then we can look closer into the downtown city, and we could see that there's a lot of big buildings here. So if a big earthquake happened, we have potential for these buildings to potentially collapse or be damaged. Although they're supposed to be on rollers or earthquake safe, you just can never know with these. With what experts think is going to be a really big building. So now we're going to move into our second hazard, and we're going to travel to the Midwest in a city, Oklahoma City. Here in Oklahoma City, tornadoes are very common here, and it's in a place called Tornado Alley. And as we could see, the city, besides the epicenter of Oklahoma City, where there's many buildings, there's not much. It's in what's called Tornado Alley, which is the region between the Great Plains, where the hot, dry air from New Mexico, dry air from Arizona meets with the humid air from the Gulf Coast, and that also meets with the cold, cool, dry air from Canada, and that's why they call it Tornado Valley here. And as you can see, the Gulf Coast comes from down here, and New Mexico's and Arizona's dry air comes from over here, and it all meets in Tornado Alley, and that's why Oklahoma has so much tornado activity, and it's very hazardous to live there. Now from here, we're going to move on to Japan, and in Japan, there is a lot of tsunami warnings, because a tsunami is when there is a lot of, well, basically it's when an earthquake happens in the underwater in an ocean trench, and that causes a humongous wave that can really damage a city. So in 2011, in March, there was a huge tsunami that was very damaging in the city of Miura, and there they killed many different people, because there was a lot of there was just a really big wave, and many people were unable to escape it, because there's not really much you can do. All these people that live here in these houses were basically killed because of this large wave. So the hazard of tsunamis isn't just for this, it's for a lot of other places that are around water and have these ocean trenches that have pressure and are active. So here in Japan and other places that are close to water that have this are at hazard for tsunamis. So thank you for going on that short field trip to Japan, Oklahoma City, and Los Angeles.